Hi, good day. This is Miss LM and we're back again for another math video, and today we're going to talk about solving systems of linear inequalities. But before that, let us know first the definition of system of linear inequality. So ano nga ba ang system of linear inequality? So this is a set of two or more linear inequalities. Same as system of linear equation wherein meron tayong two or more linear equation, dito naman meron tayong two or more linear inequalities. And how are we going to solve this kind of system? To solve this system of linear inequalities, we have to perform the steps on graphing linear inequalities one at a time. Okay? So, one at a time po natin siya gagawin. So, let's have some of the examples on how to solve systems of linear inequality. For our example number 1, we have to solve this system of linear inequality. X plus y is less than or equal to 6 and 2x minus y is greater than 4. Remember, we have to perform the steps in graphing linear inequalities one at a time. So, that means we have to graph first our first linear inequality. Then after performing these 5 steps, we have to do another 5 steps on our second linear inequality. So let's have our first linear inequality. X plus y is less than or equal to 6. We are going to write it as equation. So we have x plus y is equals to 6. Then we have to determine the points that we need to plot on the Cartesian plane. So we can use here the x and y intercept. To get the x-intercept, we have to let y as 0. So we have here x is equals to 6. So that means our first point is at positive 6 of the x-axis. For the y-intercept, we have to let x is equals to 0. So y is equals to 6. That means our second point is at positive 6 of the y-axis. So let's plot that on our Cartesian plane. Positive 6 of x-axis and positive 6 of the y-axis. Then we have to connect these 2 points using a solid line or a broken line, but it depends on the inequality symbol of our linear inequality number 1. So, saan nga ba siya kasama? Kasama siya doon sa solid line kasi meron siyang less than or equal to. So, we have to draw a solid line passing through these 2 points. Then, from here, we have to choose a test point. And since hindi naman po dumaan yung line natin sa origin, mas mainam na yung origin na lang yung gamitin natin as test point. Mas madali kasing mag-substitute at mag-add kapag 0 lang naman yung i-add natin. So, x plus y is less than or equal to 6. Let us substitute 0, 0. Magiging 0 is less than or equal to 6 na siya. Now, is this true? That 0 is less than or equal to 6. Yes, this is true. So, that means ang ating shaded region ay ang nirepresent ng ating origin. So, itong ating lower region. So, we have to shade this for us to finalize the graph of our first linear inequality from the system. And since we have here another linear inequality, we have to graph it also on the same Cartesian plane. Dahil nga system sila, sa isang Cartesian plane sila dapat i-graph. So, let's have our second linear inequality. 2x minus y is greater than 4. So, magiging 2x minus y is equals to 4. And since 4 can be divided by positive 2 and whole number naman yung magiging result, we can still use the x and y intercept. To get the x-intercept, we let y is equals to 0. So, we have 2x is equals to 4. Then, divide both sides by 2. Kaya magkakaroon po tayo ng x is equals to 2. So, the first point is at positive 2 of the x-axis. Then, for the y-intercept, we let x is equals to 0. So, automatically, wala na ito. Magkakaroon na lang tayo ng negative y is equals to 4. So, since negative y yan, kailangan natin is positive y. That is why we have to divide both sides by negative 1. Kaya po yung y natin ay naging negative 4. So, the second point is located at the negative 4 of the y-axis. So, we have to plot these 2 points now. Positive 2 of the x-axis and negative 4 of the y-axis. Then, we have to connect these 2 points by a broken line or solid line. Saan nga ba siya kasama? Ano nga ba ang ating inequality symbol for the second linear inequality? So, we have greater than at dun siya kasama sa broken line. So, we have to draw a broken line passing through these 2 points. And then, after that, we have to choose the test point. And yung test point po na pwede natin gamitin ay ang origin or ang 0, 0. Since hindi naman po dumaan yung line natin dun sa 0, 0 or sa origin. Substitute natin siya sa ating second linear inequality. 2 times 0 minus 0. Syempre 0 na yun, di po ba? Is it greater than 4? Ang tanong, mas malaki ba si 0 kaysa kay 4? The answer is false. Dahil false ang 0, 0 sa ating second linear inequality, the shaded region will be the region na hindi kasama ang origin. So, eto po, nasa kabilang half plane ang ating kailangan lagyan ng shade. So, we have to put the shade there, and there you go. This is the graph of the system of of the linear inequality number 1. So, as you can see, meron tayo ngayong double shaded region or the overlapping shaded region. And from this overlapping or double shaded region, nandito po ngayon ang solution set for the system of linear inequality. That means lahat po ng nandito sa double shaded region na ito, dito po natin matatagpuan ang mga points na magsasatisfy on both of our linear inequality from this system. So, tandaan po, meron din tayong solid line at dahil may solid line tayo, kasama din po yan sa solution for this system of linear inequality. So, if we identify at least 3 points to check if our graph is correct, so let us have first 3 and 0 and then substitute it on both of the linear inequality. So, 3 plus 0, 3 is our x and 0 is our y. 3 plus 0 is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 6. The answer is true. Then to our second linear inequality, 2x minus y is greater than 4. Again, 2 times 3 minus 0. So that's 6 minus 0 and that's 6. 6 is greater than 4 and that is also true. So yun naman po talaga yung goal natin. Parehong linear inequality from the system ay masatisfy ng points na matatagpuan natin dun sa ating double shaded region. So let's have another point here. We have positive 6 and negative 3. Substitute natin siya. So we have x is 6, y is negative 3. So 6 plus negative 3 is 3. 3 is less than or equal to 6. Again, this is true. For the second linear inequality, 2x minus y is greater than 4. X is 6, y is negative 3. So minus and negative, that will be positive and plus na po siya. 2 times 6 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. 15 is greater than 4. That is true. So another, last one. We have here from the y-axis and kasama siya sa double shaded region, we have 0 and 6. Ang x natin ngayon ang 0, ang y ang negative 6. So from the first linear inequality, we have here negative 6 is less than or equal to 6. Is this true or false? Syempre true po ito. Negative is less than positive 6. Then on to our second linear inequality, 2x minus y is greater than 4. Again, x is 0, y is negative 6, minus and negative, so that will be positive and plus. So 0 plus 6 is 6. 6 is greater than 4 and that is also true. So that's how we solve system of linear inequality. We can use the graphing method wherein all of the 5 steps on how to graph linear inequalities will be done one at a time for each of the linear inequality from the system. And the double shaded region will be the location of those points that are solution to the given system of linear inequality. So now let's proceed to our second example. So we have here y is greater than or equal to x plus 3 and y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. Do not forget that we have to perform these 5 steps for each linear inequality one at a time. So for the first linear inequality, we have y is greater than or equal to x plus 3. So we have here y is equals to x plus 3 if we write it as an equation. And as you can see, it is in the slope-intercept form. That means we can use the slope and the y-intercept to plot points for this inequality. So the slope is 1 or the numerical coefficient of x and we can form it as rise over run. So 1 over 1 po siya. Then for the y-intercept, that is positive 3. So the first point will be at positive 3 of the y-axis. So plot tayo ng point sa positive 3 and then use the slope 1 unit upward then 1 unit to the right since it is positive. Or we can use 1 unit downward and 1 unit to the left dahil nga po positive yung slope natin. Then we have to connect these points by looking at the inequality symbol of our first linear inequality at kasama siya doon sa may solid line. So we have to draw solid line passing through these 3 points. Okay? Meron na tayong solid line. And hindi pa po dito matatapos ang lahat because we have to still know which region ang kailangan nating i-shade. And to do that, kailangan po muna natin ng test point. And again, pwede po ang 0, 0 since hindi naman po doon dumaan ang ating line. So, substitute natin ang 0 and 0 doon sa ating x and y ng first linear inequality. So, magkakaroon po tayo ng y is 0, x is 0, 0 plus 3 is 3. Now, the question is 0 greater than or equal to 3? This is false. So, that means the shaded region is the region where 0, 0 is not located. So, ito ngayong nasa upper region yung ating shaded portion. Okay? Let's proceed to the second linear inequality inequality of this system. So y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. We have to write it as an equation. We have y is equals to negative 2x plus 4. And dahil po ganito yung ating equation, again, this is at slope-intercept form, we can use again the slope and the y-intercept. The slope is the numerical coefficient of x and that is negative 2 or negative 2 over 1 dahil kailangan nga natin ng rise over run. Now, for the y-intercept, we have here positive 4 or it is located at positive 4 of the y-axis. So, ito po yung una nating ipa-plot, positive 4 of the y-axis. Then, from this point, we're going to count 2 units upward. So, 1, 2, and then 1 unit to the left. Bakit to the left? Kasi po negative yung slope natin. Or, you can also use 2 units downward and then 1 unit to the right. Okay? And, anong line yung dapat nating gamitin since ang atin pong inequality symbol dito ay less than or equal to, again, this is a solid line. So, we have to use a solid line for this linear inequality. Now, we have to choose the test point. And dahil nga po hindi naman dumaan yung line natin sa 0, 0, we can use it as our test point. Substitute that to our linear inequality. Y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. So, this will become 0. Ito, 0 na din. Matitira na lang po ay 4. So, we have 0 is less than or equal to 4. Is this true or false? So, the answer is true. Mas maliit po talaga si 0 kaysa kay positive 4. That means the shaded region is the region where 0, 0 is located. So, shade po natin siya. Then, the double shaded region is the solution for our system of linear inequality. Lahat po ng point na matatagpuan natin dito sa overlapping shaded region or double shaded region ay ang mga points na magsasatisfy sa ating linear inequalities from this system. And since meron tayong dalawang solid line dito, again, lahat ng point na nadaanan ng solid line na to automatically are solution to the given system of linear inequality. So, we can check that by identifying some of the points from this double shaded region. The first point is negative 2 and positive 1. Substitute that to both of the linear inequalities. Kailangan po ay masatisfy pareho. So, y is positive 1 and x is negative 2. So, substitute natin. Then, we're going to have negative 2 plus 3 and the answer is positive 1. And we all know 1 is equals to 1 and since ang ating inequality symbol ay may or equal to, so this is true. For the second linear inequality, y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. Substitute ulit natin. Y is positive 1. X is negative 2. So, negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 4 plus 4 is 8. And 1 is less than or equal to 8 is also true. Okay, another point from the double shaded region is we have here negative 6 and positive 6. So, substitute that on our first linear inequality. We have positive 6 as y and negative 6 as x. So, negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3 and 6 is greater than negative 3. So, this is true. For the second linear inequality, again, positive 6 is for y and negative 6 is for x. Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. 12 plus 4 is 16 and 6 is less than or equal to 16. So, this is true. Next, another point. So, we have here from the quadrant 3, kasama siya sa double shaded region, negative 5 and negative 1. So, substitute natin siya. Negative 1 po yung ating y and then negative 5 yung ating x. So, negative 1 is greater than or equal to the sum of negative 5 and positive 3. Ano nga ba ang sum ng negative 5 and positive 3? That is negative 2. And mas malaki po talaga yung negative 1 kesa kay negative 2. So, this is true. Next, y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 4. Substitute si y which is negative 1. X is negative 5. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. 10 plus 4 is 14. So, we have here negative 1 is less than or equal to positive 14 and this is also true. This only proves that the double shaded region for example number 2 is correct. So, let's proceed to our next example. Example number 3. So, we have here y is greater than x minus 1 and y is less than or equal to negative 2. Remember to perform this step one at a time. So, let's start with our first linear inequality. Y is greater than x minus 1. We have to form that as an equation. So, we have here y is equals to x minus 1 and again, it is in the form of slope-intercept form. So, slope is positive 1 which is the invisible one here. So, So we have here 1 over 1 as its slope, rise over run. Then for the y-intercept, we have negative 1. So we have to plot the first point at negative 1 of our y-axis. Negative 1 of the y-axis. Then from here, we have to count 1 unit upward, 1 unit to the right because we have a positive slope. We can also use 1 unit downward, 1 unit to the left because it also shows a positive slope. So from here, we have to draw line passing through these 3 points. And anong line ba ang kailangan natin i-draw? So dahil po ang ating inequality symbol dito ay greater than lamang, that is why broken line po yung kailangan nating i-draw for this linear inequality. Okay? So next is to choose the test point. So ang ating representative po ulit ay walang iba kundi si 0, 0 since hindi naman po dumaan doon yung line na meron tayo. Substitute natin ang 0 sa x, 0 sa y, magkakaroon tayo ng 0 is greater than negative 1. And is this true that 0 is greater than negative 1? Yes, this is true. That is why the shaded region ay ang region na nire-represent ng ating origin. Shade na po natin yan. And then we can proceed to our second linear inequality from the system. Y is less than or equal to negative 2. And if we form that as an equation, we're going to have y is equals to negative 2. And again, don't forget na ito po ay nasa form pa rin ng slope-intercept form since y yung nandito sa left, may equal siya, may constant siya. Ang slope po natin dito ay 0. Since wala tayong nakitang slope but still naka-slope-intercept form siya, we can consider that m or the slope is 0. And that is why horizontal line po yung kailangan nating i-draw later on. So, ipa-plot po na natin yung ating first point and it is located at negative 2 of the y-axis. So, plot natin siya, negative 2. Then, we're going to draw a horizontal line. Ano nga bang line yung dapat nating i-draw? Broken ba or solid? So, meron tayong less than or equal to. Kaya po yan ay solid line. So, we have to draw a solid line passing through this point. And then, next is to choose the test point. And since ang atin pong line na ito ay hindi naman dumaan sa ating origin, again, we can use the origin, 0, 0. So, substitute natin siya sa y is less than or equal to negative 2. So, ang y natin sa origin ay 0. 0 is less than or equal to negative 2. Mas maliit nga ba si 0 kesa kay negative 2? And the answer is false. So, dahil false po yon, ang shaded region natin ay yung hindi kasama ang origin at nandito siya sa lower region. Now, this is our graph for the third system of linear inequality. And ang double shaded region natin ay ito lang pong part na ito. And remember na ito po ay solid line. Lahat ng point na dinaanan ng solid line na to ay solution to our system of linear inequality. So, let's have some points from the double shaded region to check if we have the correct graph for this system. So, first point is negative 3, negative 3. So, we have to substitute that on our first linear inequality. Negative 3 ang y, negative 3 ang x. So, negative 3 minus 1, that is negative 3 plus negative 1, and that is negative 4. So, negative 3 is greater than negative 4, that is true. For the second linear inequality, y is less than or equal to negative 2. Again, ang y natin ay negative 3. And negative 3 is less than or equal to negative 2 is also true. Another point, so we have here negative 7 and negative 2. So, nandun siya sa solid line natin. And we can accept that. So, let's check. Y is greater than x minus 1. Ang y natin ay negative 2. Ang x natin ay negative 7. So, negative 7 plus negative 1. So, that is negative 8. And negative 2 is greater than negative 8. That is true. For the second linear inequality, y is less than or equal to negative 2. So, negative 2 ang y natin or equal to yung inequality symbol. So, again, this is also true. Next po ay ang ating last point, negative 6 and negative 5. So, substitute natin siya. Y is negative 5 and x is negative 6. So, negative 6 plus negative 1, that's negative 7. And negative 5 is greater than negative 7. This is true. For the second linear inequality, y is less than or equal to negative 2. And y is negative 5. And negative 5 is less than or equal to negative 2. This is also true. So, this is our graph for the third system of linear inequality. And our double shaded region is correct. That means the graph that we did for this system of linear inequality is also correct. So, let's proceed on our fourth example. So, we have here y is greater than negative 2x plus 5 and y is less than 1/4 x. So, do not forget, perform the steps for each linear inequality one at a time. So, dun muna tayo sa unang linear inequality. Y is greater than negative 2x plus 5. So, that will become y is equals to negative 2x plus 5. And again, it is written into slope-intercept form. So that is why the slope is negative 2, or we have the rise of 2 and then run ng 1. And wag kalimutan, negative po yan. For our y-intercept, we have positive 5. So the first point is at 0 and 5, or positive of the y-axis. So plot natin yon. Then 2 units upward, 1 to 1 unit to the left, or 2 units downward, 1 unit to the right. Then we have to draw the line passing through these points. So for this linear inequality, meron tayong greater than. So broken line lang po yung ating kailangang i-draw for this linear inequality. Since ang 0, 0 ay hindi po nadaanan ng line, again, we can use that as test point. Substitute natin siya sa ating linear inequality. Y is 0, 2x is 0, 0 plus 5 is 5. We have 0 is greater than 5. Mas malaki ba ang 0 kaysa sa 5? That is false. So that is why ang shaded region natin ay yung hindi kasama si 0, 0. So this is for our first linear inequality. Let's proceed to the second linear inequality from this system. So y is less than 1/4 x. So we have to form that as an equation. So we have y is equals to 1/4 x. And again, this is in the form of slope-intercept form, wherein ang 1/4 po yung ating slope. But as you can see, wala tayong nakikitang y-intercept or constant. That is why we can consider b as 0. The first point is located at our origin 0, 0. So, dadaan na yung line natin sa 0, 0. So, later on sa test point, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin ang ating origin. So, na-plot na ang ating first point. And then from here, we have to count 1 unit upward, then 4 units to the right. Kasi positive po. Or 1 unit downward, 4 units to the left. Pwede rin po yun. Then, what kind of line? Broken or solid nga ba? So, dahil less than po yan, broken line po ulit tayo. Then, again, sabi ko nga po sa inyo, since dumaan na yung line natin sa 0, 0, hindi na natin pwedeng gamitin yung 0, 0 as test point. So, kukuha na tayo ng another point, any from this half plane, pwedeng itong upper region or lower region, kahit saan po, kahit isa lamang. So, in this example, ang kukuhanin nating representative ay from upper region, which is negative 4 and positive 5. So, substitute natin siya sa ating linear inequality. Y is less than 1/4 x, y is 5, x is negative 4, so negative 4 times 1/4, makakancel po natin yan, divisible po yung negative 4 by 4, so negative 1 ang sagot, and negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 5 is less than or equal to negative 1, mas maliit ba si positive 5 kaysa kay negative 1? The answer is false. So, that means, hindi po naging true dito sa ating representative, kaya ang shaded region natin ay itong nasa lower region. So, ito na po yung graph natin for the fourth system of linear inequality, and the overlapping or double shaded region is at this part. So, nandito lahat ng points na magsasatisfy sa ating system of linear inequality. So, we can test that. Kuha tayo ng points from this double shaded region. So, ang una na dyan ay 4 and negative 1. Substitute natin. Ang y ay negative 1, ang 4 ang ating x. So, we have negative 1 is greater than negative 2 times 4, that's negative 8. Negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3. And negative 1 is greater than negative 3. That is true. For the second linear inequality, y is negative 1, x is positive 4. So, we can divide this out. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Now, negative 1 is less than positive 1. This is also true. Next, another point. So, we have here, ayan, yung hindi kasama sa Cartesian plane dahil hindi na natin na-extend. We have here 8 and negative 7. So, pwede po yun. Try natin siyang i-substitute. Y is negative 7, or x is positive 8. So, negative 2 times 8 is negative 16, and negative 16 plus 5 is negative 11. So, negative 7 is greater than negative 11, and this is also true. For the second linear inequality from the system, y is negative 7, x is positive 8, 1/4 of 8 is 2, and negative 7 is less than 2, so this is true. Last, so we have another point, 4 and 0. So, ang y natin ay 0, ang ating pong x ay 4. So, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, negative 8 plus 5 is negative 3, and 0 is greater than negative 3, that is true. For the second linear inequality, y is less than 1/4 x, and our y is 0, x is 4, 1/4 of 4 is positive 1, and 0 is less than 1, that is also true. So, that means na-satisfy po ng mga points na nandito sa double shaded region yung ating dalawang linear inequality sa system. That also means na itong ating graph for this example number 4 is correct. Now, let us proceed to our last example. Example number 5. So we have here y is less than or equal to 4 or x is greater than -1. Do not forget to perform these 5 steps one at a time. So let's start with the first linear inequality. Y is less than or equal to 4, magiging y is equals to 4, and this is in the form of slope-intercept form. Yung slope nga lang po niya ay 0. So ang line natin later on ay horizontal line, and the first point will be at +4 of our y-axis. So plot natin siya at +4. Then we're going to draw a horizontal line, but broken or solid. So since ang atin pong inequality symbol for the first linear inequality for this system is less than or equal to, so siya ay solid line po. Now, since yung atin pong line na hindi dumaan sa 0, 0, we can use the origin as our test point. So, ang y po nito ay 0. So, 0 is less than or equal to 4. Mas maliit ba ang 0 kaysa sa 4? The answer is true. So, ang shaded region po natin ay yung kasama ang ating origin. So, proceed tayo sa second linear inequality, and dito pa rin natin siya i-graph. For the second linear inequality, x is equals to -1, and in this case, hindi siya slope-intercept form. So, we are going to plot x at -1, and at the same time, dahil wala tayong slope, undefined po siya, at ang undefined po ay naka-vertical line. Pero bago natin i-draw yung vertical line na yon, kailangan malaman muna natin kung ano nga ba yung line na dapat nating i-draw maliban sa pagiging vertical niya. So, plot muna natin si -1 at our x-axis, so -1. And then from here, we have to draw vertical line. At anong klaseng line nga ba siya? Meron tayong inequality symbol na greater than, kaya broken line po yung kailangan nating i-draw. This line, hindi naman siya dumaan sa 0, 0, so we can still use the 0, 0 as our test point. So, x is 0, 0 is greater than -1. Is this true or false? The answer is true. So, that is why the shaded region ay kasama ang ating 0, 0. So, this is our graph for our last example, and let us see kung tama nga ba. Kuha tayo ng points from this overlapping shaded region. So, first point is at 5 and 0. Ang ating y ay 0. 0 is less than 4. This is true. For x is greater than -1, so ang x ay 5. 5 is greater than -1. This is also true. Another, we have here from the solid line itself, +2 and +4. Ang y natin ay +4. So, y is less than or equal to 4. This is true. Then, for the x, we have +2. 2 is greater than -1, and also this is true. Last point, we have here 1 and -6. Ang y natin ay -6, and -6 is less than or equal to 4. This is true. Then, for x is greater than -1, x is +1, and we all know that positive is greater than negative integers. That is why this is also true. So, that ends our video about solving systems of linear inequalities. I hope you learned something from this video. Huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe, mag-like, at mag-share nitong video. And that's all. Bye-bye!